Kenya to actually celebrate the life of Raila Odinga. And of course, nobody lacks knowledge of him, I believe, because this man has tried almost everything and he has won in some things. We can't deny it. And I remember the first time he ran for position of president and competed against Mwai Kibaki. People said that he will be going to Bondo in the morning, and I said, do you know sometimes people don't understand that there is a different world of a politician, or rather the rich and the poor. For the poor, when you lack, you run back home to the village. But the rich, they have homes all over the places, you know. Like your home is not just Bondo when you are Raila. You have different homes, and only that because of the traditional aspect, you will go back to Bondo in death. But in life, he could go back, visit his people, relate with them, but go back to Nairobi. Of course, he had a home in Karen. Who knows? Maybe he also had another home even outside Africa. We will know that later, or we may not even ever know, because if he stayed in Germany and different other countries, why not? When I look at his family, for example, I'm trying to imagine if that was a poor man, how would be Raila Jr., for example. But when I look at him, remember, Ida was a teacher at, she was even at some point at Kenya High. And I'm trying to imagine if it was just a normal family in terms of wealth and position in this country, how would it have ended? We've seen so many times the lives of teachers as they go. Of course, a few students will come there to celebrate, but it won't be as major as this. So guys, of course, yesterday after the Nyayo Stadium, there was a process, that is a journey of Raila Odinga from Nairobi to the village, Bondo, and we have to actually go through it as we talk about one thing or the other. I really appreciate you people yesterday. You really watched a lot on Raila Odinga's tributes yesterday. And I know you'll be also checking on this, because this is a journey that you have to remember and memorize and commemorate. So before I go to the salon, I'm checking through the travel or journey of Raila Odinga from all the way to, from Nairobi and to Kisumu. Just let me check something here. All right. So yeah, so it was such a journey. I'm trying to check on this, and I want us to just go through that journey, because of course it's something happening currently, or it happened, of course, and this is how it started, with a plane from Nairobi. All right. Of course, in Western, people believe the people go back home in the night. So that is what it means by state burial. It engages a lot of state people. And of course, that's why you saw yesterday there were a lot of complaints from opposition. because now this is taken over by the state, so it is run by the state. All right. So that was earlier at JKIA. You can see the planes all over the place. The plane is deparking right there. And then there was this moment here. So, of course, from Raila Odinga was actually ferried from Nairobi and through Kisumu. Of course, remember Kisumu is the big city in Nyanza. And most of the times, Raila Odinga has been very fundamental in getting to Kisumu and actually talking to the people right there. So they had to go through Kisumu. This is Kisumu. You can see this is Kisumu Stadium, right? Yeah. So this was Kisumu, and you know the airport right there. So Kenya Air Force plane.
Naomba hivi hapa kwa hii jukwaa, madam, naomba unipe nafasi kwanza, DJ wangu apate nafasi ya kufanya kazi. Wananchi wamekaa vizuri huko, hapa kwa hii jukwaa, naomba viti viletwe, wageni wetu waheshimiwa waketi, na sasa tuendelee na hafla. Wale mliosimama sehemu hii ambao kazi yenu rasmi haipo, na waomba kwa unyenyekevu mkubwa sasa mtupee nafasi. Protocol Kisumu, niekewe viti vya viongozi hapa tafadhali sana, pamoja na mashehe na maimamu.
So you realize that that was very early in the morning, 7:42 a.m. in the morning.
Ninaomba hivyo,
that is when
Kisumu, niekewe viti hapa sasa.
The plane landed at Kisumu.
Ili tuwe na mpangilio mzuri hapa juu.
All right. So you realize that just before the plane landed, people began being emotional, some moving around. But of course, having experienced what happened at Kasarani, they had to take precaution and actually even announce. And also, we had a lot of officers right there. So looking at what happened, by 7:42, as I told you, the plane landed at Kisumu.
Tafadhali tunawaomba mkiwa katika VVIP.
Bounty Rush Channel, hey, you disappeared.
Msonge nyuma ili tupate nafasi ya kuweka viti.
Bounty Rush Channel, you disappeared so much. Where did you go to? Welcome, welcome. Yeah, so of course the chairs for officials were placed. Let me place music off because of copyright aspects. And the plane was here. Bounty Rush Channel, welcome, welcome. Feel at home. So that was as early as 7:51. We can see a lot of planes landing at Kisumu. At the same time, people are set to actually go through the body viewing process here. Being a city, they would not have avoided here because even during his life, Raila ODINGA used to really land at Kisumu most of the times. So this had to happen. And
wakwayo gimuolo kendo ging'uono ni VVIP, tafadhali tuwe na heshima na tusaidiane. Konywa uru wako welo, chiuru thuolo makende, kendo ka oket kom mbele ka, webetie kapok okoni mondo ibedie tafadhali. Wan gi elders nika.
All right, so of course you can hear the announcement informing the people to give space for VVIP and specific chairs for the VVIPs. All right, and that is why you can see a lot of planes carrying the VVIPs right here, and they had to take a lot of precautions because you know what happened at Kasarani. More planes were landing one by one, and by 8:02, around 8:03, that was the situation. All right. Yeah, so you can see as the planes are landing, they have dignitaries, VIPs, the army, and warning. Now the body arrived right here. And you can see the marching by the army. right? And they were actually leading the body here, the whisk right there, and it's purely the army. Purely the army because of the state funeral. Now here you realize there was no actually the ordinary citizens, but the army purely. You saw the plane that landed that was carrying the body, of course, was state. You see the procedure that was conducted right here. The music will bring an aspect of copyright to my channel. So of course you see right there. That was by 8:15. What was happening by 8:15? So now from that is at Kisumu. Now already put in a different another plane ready to all right. So we had a lot of tight security right there. Remember you heard yesterday what some people were shouting around and saying, Kasongo, don't come to Kisumu and all that. You know, sometimes it's just funny. Some people cannot stop talking, even when they should. So by 8:32, that was the state of affairs. Planes taking off again at Kisumu. All right. That was 8:39, around there. You can see the environment itself actually with some sort of misty environment, but they'll make it anyway. So the dignitaries finally got a place to sit. All right. And that is tight security all over the place. Of course, you remember what happened at Kasarani. Music is a problem on my channel. Yeah, so by 8:47, this was the state of affairs. Again, the body had to be removed. You can see the ropes actually being turned all over the place. So Kisumu and Bondo are not far anyway, it's just close.
In an example, and preach peace for our motherland, Kenya at all times, and enable importance of freedom of speech. Almighty God, I thank you for having given me the courage to save the life after his second detention. Kane jotan pini duati ma lal kingi ma Yesu. Nyasaye no lal kode motere Egypt. An be kane mara ilo biro na lal kode nyako duogo kia kotiyo no kendo kodhi oko. Today, as we bid him farewell, we thank you, Almighty Father, that you enabled RAILA ODINGA, after his self-exile, to initiate together with others vibrant political parties which have helped to improve and shape our democracy and thrive to make Kenya a better home for all Kenyans. As an engineer,
Yeah, the man praying had a serious cough, but you can see a lot of people feeling the place actually with the twigs, just like the case was Kasarani. But because Ida said yesterday there is need for peace, people are trying to restrain themselves here, and again, the army was standby. So you can see the twigs all over the places and people filling spaces everywhere. So that was 9:24. By 9:24, that was the state of affairs as they are praying for the soul. People are all over the place. And the army was standby, very alert. All right. Dignitaries had already settled on the podium, but you can see that the stadium was also full to the brim. Indeed, this proves that he was an enigma. Look at this. So when you look at the state of affairs,
Studio, tupe muziki tafadhali.
So that was the moment to allow people to settle and also walk into the stadium, some of them right there. You can see some pushing and getting into Kisumu Stadium. That is a very large crowd to prove that indeed Raila Odinga was an enigma. And so you can see the plane that actually arrived with the body right there. The body already placed in the right position. That was by 9:35. So there was a beehive of activities as more delegates continued to arrive and the VVIPs to settle before they could start the program. So music, of course, I'm avoiding because of the copyright aspect on the platforms. That was by 9:54. The people pushing themselves into the stadium, but they were surrounded by the police. Remember, because of what Sam said yesterday, by 10 a.m., that was the state of affairs. But the stadium was filled to the brim, yet more people are still coming in. Of course, music playing just to help matters flow. Can you imagine that crowd? Kenya really has a population, guys. That was a large crowd right there. And on the other side, a swarm. You can think it's a swarm of bees, but those were individuals just walking into the stadium. And that was by 10:48. That was such a crowd. And more people are still flocking in. Of course, songs which have been used as panegyric songs in his praise were played at that time. So by 11, this was the state of affairs. By 11:21, that was the state of affairs. Music after music, songs were being played as people walk in and out. So of course everything is going on still at Kisumu Live until later, where the body will now be moved to Bondo, possibly afternoon. So some police here were greeting people while others were pushing them. Yeah, even as we're talking, as I've told you, people are still streaming into Kisumu, and the process still on. And of course, as based on what you've seen and what is going to happen more and more the entire day at Kisumu until later on when the body will be transported to Bondo. Of course, observing state aspects as well as the Luo aspects. Everyone is actually attending the funeral. The cameraman doing very good work, and everybody believing now what they can see. Some people in groups dancing here and there, and of course some saying the coffin or casket was supposed to be horizontal so that those at the back can view, but the viewing is happening, and so many different aspects. Prince Inda there to perform, though because of now the order to play music in the studio, the specific people are playing around the place cannot be seen, but most of the songs being played are targeted towards the panegyric songs that are appreciating Raila Odinga during his life, political moment, and different times. And people are so, appreciative of the songs actually, which are appraising Raila Odinga, with a lot of people actually filling the stadium, and some asking for specific songs and wishing Baba or the rest, the easy rest, and the final moment for him. Of course, today is like a vigil night where the body is going to spend at his home, and finally tomorrow there'll be the burial moment to say farewell to him. And from the crowd you realize that people actually have lost it because they see the crown in Baba, and especially this area, the area in Nyanza generally. People have been looking at Baba as the only lead, the guide, and the individual to actually tell them what to do. So they feel at a loss and they are crying, and you can see so many people dropping different comments on the comment section that vary, some of them which may not be actually palatable, but some of them which are generally okay. And looking at, of course, the pastor who prayed just on arrival, he was an old person that actually came to pray, because in the Luo culture there's a belief that the old are really respected, and when it comes to bodies, they are supposed to be the ones to pray just before anything goes. So it is almost lunchtime, but everybody is flooding into the to Kisumu, and a lot of people, I don't know whether they've come from Siaya or which other areas, but they are going on and on, and the crowd is just beyond imagination. So of course, people are proving that they'll not forget Baba, Gwambo, and this a great person that has been doing a lot during his life, and of course we are waiting for Joey won win Tinga Ward Nyalenga. So people are actually talking and looking and expecting a lot, but as things continue to flow, all that can be seen is a crowd that is moving into the stadium slowly by slowly, and it seems that they'll not stop, maybe up to the time the moment is over. Now you also realize that Red Cross are attending to people who are maybe suffocating in the crowd, helping them to revive before they can let them go. Yeah, so see a lot of people being ferried. And the police seem to be standby, very confident to barricade and ensure that the flow into the place is actually perfect. So while some are walking in, some are walking out. But there are those who have come and they are not leaving, even after viewing. Yeah, so the viewing moment will take some time, but I think we've taken our time to actually honor that. And later on, we'll be coming again to look at the events surrounding maybe afternoon and up to tomorrow when the burial moment will come. And of course, groups of people singing here and, appreciating the moments of life, following the tunes in the studio, but at the same time appreciating the life well lived. So I think by this moment we can end here, but we'll be going on later because there is something I have to go attend to before I come back to this. Bye bye.